Can you hear me? All right. Okay. Thank you, Efren, for those generous comments. It was when I was invited to come down here. I made one request, and that is I'd have some time to spend with Efren so that we'd have a chance to get to know each other. Because for some reason we had our offices and buildings across the street from each other for maybe a decade, but never had a chance to get to know each other. So I appreciated that time. I am a Free Methodist, and of course that is the one true church. In case you, just kidding. When I moved to Brighton and joined the Edgewood Free Methodist Church, I went on the website, and they had four people on the staff, and they're all from Houghton, all Houghton alum. And here I am, a Roberts board trustee member for, I think, about 23 of the last 25 years, and I wondered whether this was going to work out. But later on, a couple of those left, and now we have a couple Roberts people on our staff, and nothing has changed. So same theology, I guess. Anyway, I'd just like to start out by telling you that I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, and I believe the Bible is the one true source of absolute truth. I also believe that believing in God and following His Word is necessary for Him to bless us while we're here on this earth, and also necessary for St. Peter to open the gate for us after we die. So just want to let you know what I believe. And just now for a bit of history, I was born on a farm. My father died when I was 8 years old, which was the worst. Following that was the worst year of my life. And actually, I used to cry all night. Somehow it bothered me more than other members of our family, and pray all night. And as a result of that, sometimes these tragic things have some benefits. But as a result of that experience, I became very close to our Lord and developed a close relationship with Jesus that I've had the benefit of all my life since then. So sometimes good things come out of bad. But anyway, my mother had to sell the farm, and because she couldn't manage it, she started a dairy business by herself in the town of Ontario, which is east of Rochester. She only had an 8th grade education. So what she knew about running a business, I think she learned in Sunday school and sermons on Sunday morning. And yet she was very successful. It was a small business, but successful, and supported our family. We worked in her business. I have an identical twin brother who's been a partner most all my life. We worked in her business and really admired how she did things. And a few years ago, we sat down and started to realize that we were running our business the way our mother did. And so we listed her 8 habits. And these are things that she used to tell us to do, and we were just reminded of ourselves of these. And I'd just like to go through them quickly. One was to say our prayers, make your work a pleasure, try new things, nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's something good in everyone, look for the good parts, keep a positive attitude, smile, act cheerful all the time. Even on rainy days, she used to tell us, when somebody comes in the dairy, tell them, isn't this a wonderful day? Have no prejudice and be a servant. I really believe she tried to lead in her business like Jesus, and who was, I think, a perfect role model, of course. And it even works in business. She did not consider herself any better than anyone else. Along the way, she had an accountant that came in once a month. Because of her lack of experience, she would really look forward to him coming in. So as a 12-year-old, I decided I wanted to be like him, because I wanted to be, have that kind of ability to advise people. And so that's what I studied, was accounting. And that's kind of unusual for a kid to decide what they wanted to do at 12 years age, but it resulted from that experience. So I became a CPA, spent 5 or 6 years in public accounting, and then 10 years in industry. And I was at Schlegel for 10 years as the financial guy, which is a small international company, which I enjoyed very much. But along the way, I developed a passion for real estate. And I was initially drawn to real estate because of the tax benefits, that you could deduct depreciation, even though depreciation isn't a real expense. And so that in years when I started, it was even more favorable than it is today. But that plan still works today. And at the same time, my brother and I became interested in providing housing for families, young families. And so we started by buying single-family homes, modest single-family homes. We didn't have much money, so they had to have high assumable mortgages. And we would rent these to young families who had trouble finding an apartment because they had too many kids, so they'd rent from us, and we would let some of the rent apply against the purchase price. And so as time went on, as a result of depreciation, or not depreciation, as a result of inflation, the value of the homes went up, and they accumulated a down payment, and half of the time they would buy the home within 5 years. The other half of the time they'd move out, we'd have to rent it to somebody else and repeat the process. So that's how we started. We had, accumulated 27 homes, kind of working on the side. And at that point, my brother and I, we had a goal of going full-time in real estate. And we used that as kind of our nest egg to get started. So my brother wanted to leave his job sooner than I did. So for two years after he started, we both lived on my salary. So anything we earned in real estate would add to our equity. And I just think we were fortunate. And I think in business sometimes it's good to have a good objective that benefits people, which I think we were doing. And I think if that's kind of the first priority, there's a lesson there that if you do good work, the profits will usually follow, and that's what happened with us. But I'd also like to make the point that if any of you have urges to go into business, or if you feel entrepreneurial at all, I would encourage you to go in business for yourself. Maybe not with your first job, but later on in life. But if you do, you got to remember a term called delayed gratification. I mean, you just can't start out having a great successful business in most cases. So unless you're from a very wealthy family that's very anxious to support you in your business, you want to be careful about how you spend your money. You need to save money. You don't want to run up bills on your credit card. You don't want to finance a car. In fact, probably good advice for most people. Temptations today are so strong, and I've seen this so many times, of young people getting in debt in credit cards, but even worse, probably buying new cars and financing them. My advice is that no one should probably buy a new car unless they've made their first million.